In the last lesson, we learned about using graphing to find a common solution between two linear equations, but that's not always the best method for solving systems. Very often, systems might have fractional or decimal solutions, and you won't always be able to tell what that is on a graph. It could also be difficult to have a point actually show up on the graph that you have. It might be beyond or numbers too large to see on a small graph. So we do have other methods for finding solutions to systems. And today we're going to explore just by substitution. You're very good at substituting values, but now we're actually going to substitute expressions and just take it a little bit further. So let's go ahead and take a look. Take good notes, make sure you've got a pen and pencil out, and we're going to jump in. The substitution method is used to solve systems of linear equations by substituting an equation for one variable and then substituting the resulting expression for that variable into the other equation. That's a mouthful there, so it's better to understand what we're going to be doing by actually doing it. I've created this checklist here for what you should do and kind of when you're going through this process, what you should be thinking about. This is really handy to have so that you don't miss anything when you're going through. Now, just so you know, it may not always take 6 steps. We might get to skip some steps. So let's go ahead and start with this first one. In step 1, is one of the equations already solved for a variable? So what does that mean? If we take a look at our first equation, does it say either just x equals some expression or y equals some expression? And neither of these are solved for x or y. In other words, x or y are not by themselves on one side of the equal. We're going to say no here for step 1, and so we do have to do step 2. Which equation and variable will you solve? So you kind of want to make a plan. If possible, select an equation that has no coefficient to one of its variables. We can see right here, this y here has no coefficient, neither does this y here. So it could actually solve either equation. So this one says, if possible, select. So we're going to just write down our plan on this line. I'm actually going to solve the first equation, and I'm going to solve for y. I went ahead and wrote down my plan. So I'm going to solve for y in the first equation. I've also gone ahead and labeled my 2 equations, the first one A and the second one B. This really does help keep you organized. I'd strongly suggest doing that as you're writing out your work. So I'm going to write an A here to show that I'm using equation A, and I'm going to solve for y. So to solve for y, I want to get that y by itself on that side of the equal. So all I need to do is add this 3x to both sides. So you can see after I add that 3x, I end up with y equals 3x plus 1. I'm going to go through and check off some of these steps. So I've done step 3 now. And step 4 asks us to substitute that expression into the other equation and solve for the other variable. So here's what that looks like. I just found this expression here. And what I'm going to do is substitute it into that second equation. I'm going to replace that y with the 3x plus 1. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and written down that second equation. And remember, what I'm going to do is replace this y with that 3x plus 1. So let's take a look at what that looks like. You can see I've removed the y. I replaced it with the 3x plus 1. I also used parentheses, which is really important to do in case you have any coefficients you might need to distribute, but we did not in this case. we're going to go ahead and combine our like terms. So that 4x and that 3x will leave me with 7x plus 1 equals 8. And then we're going to solve for x. So subtract the 1 from both sides and divide by 7. When I'm all done, I can see that I've ended up with x equals 1. And that's everything for step 4 there. That's step 4, is solving for that first variable by substituting our expression. What we're going to do next is take this x equals 1, and this is step 5, and put it back into that first equation I used, that a. So I'm going to put that 1 inside the equation a. All right, so here's my substitution. You can see I've replaced that x with the 1, and now we're just going to solve for our y. I do that by just multiplying 3 times 1 is -3, plus y equals 1. I'm going to add that 3 to both sides because that's the opposite of -3, and it looks like my y equals 4. That's step 5. My final step is to check my answer. The ordered pair I'm getting right now is 1, 4. So I want to check my answer, and I'm going to use this space right here. And I'm going to take equation A. I get -3. My x value is 1. My y value is 4. I want to make sure, does that actually equal 1? I get -3 plus 4. Does that equal 1? And it does. And then do the same thing with your B. I've got 4 times that x value of 1 plus that y value of 4, and we want to see, does that equal 8? And we get 4 plus 4, which, yes, it does. So it checks out. We know that 1, 4 is definitely our answer. Now that we've seen that whole process one time, with part 2, I'm going to go a little bit faster. And example 2 is one of these examples where I actually get to skip some steps. So this will go quite a bit faster. I started out by labeling my first equation A, my second equation B. Is one of the equations already solved for a variable? We can see in equation A, I do have y equals something. So my answer to that question is yes. Because it's yes, I can go to step 4. So I can just skip steps 2 and 3. And I'm going to substitute this expression here into my second equation. So we're going to go straight to equation B and do the substitution. You can see what I've done. I've taken that 4x plus 3 and I replaced the y in equation B with it. Notice this is one of those where using those parentheses is very important because I'm going to need to distribute this -2 before I can combine any like terms. So now you can see this is all worked out. So -2 gives me the -8 minus 6, and I'm ready to solve. I need to combine these two like terms to start with. That gives me -3x minus 6 equals -9. Quickly add that 6 to both sides to solve. I've got -3x equals -3. When I divide by -3 to -3, that gives me a +1. My x value is 1 here. We're going to okay, so we've done step 4. We're going to substitute that value into, okay, so we're going to take this 1 and we're going to put it, let's see, where does it say? Into our original equation. So remember, our original equation was a. So I'm going to replace that x right there with the 1. So you can see I've done that with equation 1, or equation A. When I simplify that, you can see I get 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So we're going to hope that y equals 7 is my solution. If that is true, my ordered pair will be 1, 7, but we're going to do that final step and check our answer. You can see I took equation A, I replaced the y with the 7 and the x with the 1 to check it. And this one's pretty easy. We can see right away that 7 does indeed equal 4 times 1, 4 plus 3 is 7. So A checks out. B, we replace the x with the 1 and the 7 goes for the y. When we simplify, 5 times 1 is 5 minus 14. Does that equal -9? And it does. 5 minus 14 is -9. So it checks out, and that means that 1, 7 is definitely my solution.